Pre-emergence. What does it mean and what's it have to do with having a beautiful yard? What kind do I use? When do I apply it? Is there an organic option? We'll cover all this in today's episode and more. I'm Jarrett and this is the Shades of Green Show. Weeds can drive you crazy. Not only do they take away from the looks of a beautiful lawn, but they seem to replicate non-stop. To have success in your yard, you're going to attack weeds from two different angles, pre-emergence and post-emergence. Like their name suggests, a pre-emergent is an herbicide you apply before the weed emerges. This is the long game approach. A post-emergent is an herbicide you apply after the weed has sprouted and producing leaves. This is the quick fix. For today's episode, we're only focusing on the long game, pre-emergence. The most important factor when applying your pre-emergent is timing. Typically, you'll apply your pre-emergent twice a year, once to combat cool season weeds, and another to ward off the warm season weeds. For your spring application, you want the average soil temperature to be around 55 degrees. For North Texas, that generally falls around March 1st through the 15th. In the fall, the weeds will start germinating when the soil temperature cools to an average of 70 degrees. This usually around September 1st through the 15th. Applying during these windows is critical to make sure your pre-emergent is down at the perfect time and will prevent any weed seeds from germinating and sprouting. Remember, too early is better than too late. Another important component to consider is what type of weeds we're dealing with. In general, there are two broad categories of weeds. Broadleaf weeds like your dandelions or your henbit, and grassy weeds like crabgrass or your perennial rye. For grassy weed prevention, you want to make sure your pre-emergent contains dimension. For broadleaf, you're looking for gallery. Gallery and dimension are the active ingredients that will do all the grunt work in suppressing weeds. Using a broadcast spreader, apply the granule according to your spreader settings and bag instructions. After application, the final step is to apply a ½ inch of water to activate the product within 24 to 48 hours. You can time this with rainfall or simply turn on your irrigation. Failure to apply water will lead to patchy coverage. Gallery and dimension should last 6 to 12 weeks, which, if timed right, should stop the first major wave of weed sprouting. By stopping that first wave, you're preventing them from reseeding, thus preventing the weed explosion that can happen later in the season. Also, not all weeds will germinate at the same time, so the 6 to 12 week window will offer you more coverage. For those looking for an organic option, corn gluten meal is going to be your best friend. It's going to be applied the same way, but it's going to have half the effective window as the synthetics. Besides the organic benefits, it also acts as a fertilizer for your lawn, suppressing weeds and feeding the lawn. But a mistimed application of corn gluten can feed your lawn and feed your weeds. Have I mentioned that timing is critical? A great resource to get more information is Aggie Turf. Not only do they have more in-depth research, but they have tons of photos of different weeds that will help you identify what weed is growing in your yard. So there you have it. Start your long game weed prevention today by applying some pre-emergence in your yard. If you have any more questions, come see us at the nursery. Thanks again for tuning in. This is the Shades of Green Show.